Hey everyone, Fire Phoenix here, and today we will be discussing the top 3 most fun units in DBL that came out in 2023. Now, what does fun mean? Pretty simple. Listen, fun is when a unit is not overpowered and takes actual skill. Example, you can't give your phone to your little cousin named 6-year-old Timmy. You can't just give him, hey, use UVB, use Ultra Vegito Blue in a match, and he'll probably win because Ultra Vegito Blue takes no skill. But now, if you give a unit that actually takes skill, no honorable mention, Gammas, I would have put Gammas, he's number 4, but I would have put Gammas, but if you give them Gammas, oh, guess what? He's probably not going to win because Gammas actually takes skill, and to get all that preparation mode crap, it actually takes time. Now, let's just get right into this. Number 3, to put it simply,
Guess I'll have to do
a
it.
unit like MVP 17 in the team, you're not expecting offense, you want defense. And he's not overpowered, he's just a defensive unit. And every day of the week, I will take a defensive unit all day, every day of the week. You have to talk about his base stats. Yo, he has great base stats, especially for defense. Mwah! Amazing! His health is not really that good, but who cares? And then we have to talk about his do or die onslaught. 25% damage to Fusion Warrior. 25% blast damage to Fusion Warrior when Fusion Warrior was a very good team. Yeah, that was kind of useful. And then he wasn't even that overpowered. His strike, as I said before, is pretty weak, so that means you're not really expecting that much offense. And then even the little minute things that he has, when you drop into him, applies the following effect when the character enters the battlefield. Draws a blast card, restores keys by 40. Okay, that takes skill. Pop him in there, get a blast, get 1 card draw speed, maybe do a sidestep, maybe you have a strike, you do that. And then by then you could, you know what I mean? You have a lot more leeway with a 17. You don't get cover no immediately. So yeah, the opponent can cover change, but if you're smart, you have to drop. You know what I mean? Just things that allow more opportunities for the game to unfold. A lot more fun. Way more funner than just, flop in UVB. Get 5 timer counts of cover no. Oh no. And then you basically have covered for the entire game. Oh, is that fun, people? No, not really. Then we'll talk about his counter. The Ultra Gogeta's Blue Rising Rush. By that time, Ultra Gogeta View had Endurance on his Rising Rush. Android 17 nullified that Endurance, so it's a normal fucking rush. Very useful ability. Even today, the Canto buff effect is a very useful ability. It makes units like Ultra Gogeta 4 not that bad with his ultimate. It's still a one-shot kill, but at least you could nullify some buffs, so you might live worse a damn. And then we have to talk about, now technically his most overpowered thing is his gauge. And it's a good thing when his gauge basically just gives him his health back and just gives him 2 gauges. Wow, that's a lot of gauges. But it just gives him 2 gauges. You can do a lot with 2 gauges. Sure, is it kind of annoying to face against? Yeah. But you kind of need to hit 17 a lot of times to get that gauge up. So, flop him in there. Let him be the sponge. And you just do a little bit of offense. Great defense. Not that overpowered. A lot more things to unfold in a matchup. To put it simply, I love Super 17. But to put it simply, that's MVP 17. Well then, number 2 will be Perfect Cell. Now you have to understand, as an Android's main, I'm gonna have some things to say. Some people might say that he was overpowered and he's annoying. I'm gonna just say this now, he had weak defense. But the most annoying thing about this unit was that AoE def. Yo, that AoE def did so much. First, it destroyed all the enemy's card. It inflicted them with a bunch of debuffs. And then, no switching. And then it also, if there's 2 battle moments remaining, he seals Rising Rush, he seals main abilities. Yeah, that is, wow, that is really good. But he has to die, so Granted, it's kind of annoying, but you know, you kind of get rid of a unit, so it's not that bad. But even then, he has a couple of things that just make him a really fun unit to use. Like we have to talk about his gauge, man. Once the gauge is filled, he gets like 3 cards. He gets health, he gets key, he gets his gauge back. He does more damage. He gets cover null. He gets a card art speed, and he cancels out attribute downgrades in abnormal conditions. Yeah, that's a full combo. Pop his gauge. Oh, that's a full combo. Pop his main ability. You get your blue card. You get 40% to your gauge, and then again you pop your gauge. But remember, you only get the gauge like every 30 timer counts. It's not like you get it, so you have to time your gauge perfectly, and that's what makes him a great unit. He's overpowered, he has great offense, but yo, that defense, woo! That defense stinks, man. I'm not gonna lie. He had no defensive game, which means he was a great glass cannon. And even then, what I mean is that he's a great glass cannon. Great offensively, but kind of poor defensively, which makes him nice. If you catch Perfect Cell perfectly, then you're able to immediately get him out like first 20 timer counts in the game. It's a 3v2. One of your battle members might be on half HP because of the AoE death, but like, you can revive from that. 3v2 a lot easier to deal with. So that's why he's number 2. Very good offensively, but with enough weaknesses, yeah, you can see the fall off slowly happen. But with his weaknesses, you could see that he could just die easily, which means that you don't really have to worry about him that much if you play your cards correctly. Now then, number 1, who would it be? Who can it be? None other than my boy Captain Ginyu of the Ginyu Force. Yo, I love Captain Ginyu. But okay, we have to talk about his pre-revival state and his post-revival state. Pre-revival state, he had good strike blast damage. He had this cool little revival chance thing, which means you actually have to build a good team. You can't just put Ginyu in leader slot and make him carry. You have to actually build a team around him to increase the odds. If you don't, you have to actually play the game. You have to pop your main ability. You have to use a blue card. You have to use a green card. Things that all DBL players should do, and not just stand there and be a passive little Timmy. You know? Things like that just make the unit a lot more fun to use. Like, in his main ability, Calm Judgment, gets 50 key, damage inflicted, 20% to revival chance, and gets his special move art. And then, even when he dies, that's when the most important thing happens. His card draw speed is the best in the game, but he doesn't get cover null, which means if you're stuck in a 2v1 against Ginyu, you're gonna have to time that cover change very nicely, because if he gets you in a drop, you are cooked. You're so cooked by him. He could do, I've seen videos of him doing like 20 card combos. And then especially if he has like a green card merchant, his green card does pretty well. Let's pop it up on screen. Yeah, his green card, it gets him a new card, it gets him 50 keys, and then it just inflicts the enemies with all of this crap, and it's like, oh wow, that is unfortunate because you're gonna get clapped. And then we also have to talk about when he kills an opponent. When he kills an opponent, he also gets his gauge back. That's very useful. So usually what I would do, especially with the Ginyu Force, especially when it came out, yo, I'd use him as the last man standing, and that gauge thing, whenever you kill an opponent, you get your gauge back, is so useful. So useful because he actually takes time. He does decent damage, doesn't do amazing damage. You can't full card an enemy. You need to actually take your time, slowly get that health all the way down, and in that time, your opponent can cover change. But I'm too good at this game, so I drop, which actually takes skill. Dropping and knowing when to drop takes skill, especially when this unit came out. Ginyu Force at least tried to dampen the effects of Ultra Vegito Blue and Go Frieza. Will I say they dampened it completely? No, but many people were using Ginyu Force because they were a fun and enjoyable team during that time period. Ginyu Force genuinely took a lot of skill to use, but if you use them correctly, then he would have felt absolutely amazing. And I'm so glad they released a unit like him because I had so much fun during that summer of 2023. But other than that, guys, click down in the comment below who you think are the most fun units in DBO. And remember, this is Fire Phoenix signing out.